Well, the other day when we had this thing running, we noticed there was a leak on the transmission cooler. And so I was going online, like, oh, should we buy a new one? Should we buy a new one? Probably should buy a new one. This one looks like it's pretty beat up. Well, there's nothing to them. It's just two copper lines that run down and then just a bunch of heat dissipating vanes attached to it. So I plugged that in. I'm gonna put air to this end. We're just gonna see if we can find some bubbles coming out of here. Oh, see that? The bubbles come out of that corner. So it's right there. So now I know where it's at. Let's braze that spot, patch it, put it back on, and it'll run for as long as the truck's alive until we run into something like a deer. Don't want to do that. Wire brush the spot up quite a bit. See the hole got bigger. It's really thin there. It's been wearing in the truck. So let's put some flux on here. Flux helps the surface get clean, nice and clean. So that way the solder will bond to it. I guess it's not really brazing. I mean, it kind of is. I'm just going to solder it with some good old-fashioned solder. Flux off there. All right, there we go. I pushed it inside the hole. It's bonded pretty tight. That should seal. It's a very low pressure system. There's like no pressure to it. It's just circulation of fluid. So we'll see if that works. Not too shabby, I'd say. It's scooped on there pretty good, and that was the intent. It's gonna get chipped off with the rocks over the next foreseeable future. But for now, we've got a good base. It's glued. And the nice part about black paint is you can always add more. Or oil. Looks all the same. That does look good, doesn't it? Get that fifth wheel plate on there, it's gonna look real nice. Real nice. Got some blue touch-ups we gotta do on that cab though. I gotta find the color that is and get that taken care of. Well, we decided, while the paint's drying back here, pull the heater core out. Besides the mouse nest that's always in there from the factory, if you can see right here, see the split? That copper pipe right there? That's our leak. So, yes, this had water in it. It froze at one time. So the question is that salvageable? Can I attempt to heat that and fill that full of solder? And will it hold under the pressure of the coolant? Or is it just gonna break open and leak in there and make a big mess in the cab? I think it's worth a shot. It wasn't terrible to get to, and you can just turn the valves off in the truck if it starts to leak. But if it doesn't leak, you don't spend $1 and you're good to go. If it leaks, then you gotta buy one of these and swap it out. What do they cost? I don't know. That other Peterbilt might have the same one in it too, so we might rob it out of there if it's the same thing, but I might try just to patch it and see what happens. It ain't pretty, but I might have got it. Try pressurizing it. See what happens here. Well, we just tried to pressurize it, and it's air's coming out inside here. So that's all broke out. It's toast. All right. Well, we'll find something else to put in there. Back in the sprayer. We had to stop working on the truck because today is a decent day, hard leading wind, and the spring wheat is ready to start spraying. So we're gonna spray some acres. Nick's getting around, getting his stuff going. I got some chemical in this Apache. Head across the interstate, spray a little bit, and then yeah, get a lot of acres cut or sprayed today, hopefully. And then once we're done with that, we'll work back on the truck. We don't got too much more on the truck to finish, so that's good. Sure, it runs good though. It runs really good. Love it. Anyways, let's spray. Interesting. This hose right here just blew. Spray a little bit of chemical everywhere, and that's expensive chemical. All right, now I managed to shut the valve off, and I'll wing it up and take it back to the shop and see if I can fix that. All right.
we're probably gonna have a spot in that field that's gonna be dead. Because, well, it sprayed it everywhere in the field. Alright, head back to the shop. Fun. Okay, let's go spray again.
For about that time, hood on truck. Replaced the hardware on this side with new hardware. The other one was pretty thrashed. These ones were a little different. I wasn't able to put them on, so I have to use the original, but I think they're not wore out enough to the point where it should be okay. So just like we took it off, we're basically gonna get this right up level with it with that pallet, and then slowly slide the hood around to where we like it, start put pins through, tip her up, hook all the cables up. We should be in business. Right there, up, down. Down a little more. Keep going, a little more. Right there, that's good. We should shift it from now, so you can turn it off. Okay, I'll let you do yours first. Well, it's a beautiful, crispy day. A lot of crispy dandelions that just got sprayed, and as you can see, they are meeting their fate. It's very dry, actually. We'd love some rain. There's some in the forecast, but it keeps dropping. So we'll see what happens, but we need it desperately. Crops are going downhill fast. Anyways, we've got a header. It looks just like the headers that we had, but it is not our header. This is actually a classmate of mine back in the old days of school, and he had this listed for not much money, and we said, well, we bent a header last year, and we bent a header the other couple years before that, and anyways, we're due for a header. So he bent this header. I was like, well, we'll take your bent header, because why not? It can't be worse than our bent header. So what happened, I'm not entirely sure how he bent it. This is the Australian version. Everybody loves these. They had an extension here for a 45 foot, so you take this part off, then they can put that in a shipping container, and this too, to get it shipped overseas. Well, this part's weak, that's weak there. We fixed our other header, welded it up, got that fixed, we'll have to do that with this one too. But what happened somewhere along the lines, he bent it, and it's right in this area right here. So, we've done this in the past, and we're gonna try it again. So we're gonna get the International 9370 out of the building, get the combine out, hook the combine onto the feeder house, get it set up, hook that end to like the skid steer, chain it up tight, drop it on the ground, and get our front end loader on this side, and we push right back here. And we've actually pushed it, you push it past where it goes, let off, and it actually straightens the header out pretty good. There's other ways you can do it too, but that's the way we found that it works.
Let's fire up the 9370, move it out of the way, so we can get, I think it's B-spine that's in the back. Oh, hang on a second. Technically in the front, Clifford would be in the back. But anyways, we need to get a combine out. Obviously, you guys know that we have a new header, new to us. Let's turn that on, and it needs to be tweaked. This thing's awesome. Such a pretty truck. I love this truck. It's got class. That's the key word. Old school class. All right, fun. Let it warm up, air up, and we'll pull it out of the way.
Then the next step, we gotta get the other headers out of the other buildings. And our goal is to have 3 headers on this farm, 2 good ones, 1 backup one. So that way, if we do destroy a header, because it seems like anymore we just drag headers on this farm, because that's how tall the crop is, we'll be ready. Pick that up. And if we happen to destroy a header, we have a backup header ready to go. And they're not much money. We bought that one for $13,000. Obviously there's stuff we got to put on it. The reel and everything he had taken off, so we'll go pick all that up here in a little bit. And then on top of that, We got our buddies at May West Manufacturing, and they're gonna come and set up the cutter bar with some skid plates. So we need those because, like I said, we like to drag the ground with headers a lot. Number 2, Clifford. Wait, that's not Clifford, that's B-Spine.
Yeah.
B-Spine.
And it's me.
That's not him, B-Spine. We have a leak right here, as you can see. Looks like it's a wheel seal. Or no, I think it's hydraulic. Definitely hydraulic. Out of that cylinder right there. Been dripping all winter. Nice and slow. So we'll get the International 9370 out of here, get B-Spine out of here, hooked up to him. He'll pull on the side, we'll bend the whole thing, and it'll work A-okay. And if it doesn't work, then just don't show my classmate this video and we'll tell him we don't want the header anymore. He farms like 10 miles from us. He's a nice guy. Huh. Let's see here. And it is right there. There it is. Found it. See that? Yeah, that was probably me back when I was, you know, gauging with a 22. Shooting birds out of the building. That one too. Who knows? Actually, that might have been where our auger hit the building. That's interesting. All right, B-Spine. Do I get up and check the engine oil before we start? Well, here's the thing. I could, but it had engine oil when we parked it, and there's no giant puddle underneath where the oil would be if it was leaking engine oil. So, but for how expensive an engine that is, I should check the dipstick and make sure there's oil in it. What would you guys do? No, the only reason I'm doing this is because you guys are watching. Oh, look at that, crystal clear. We put new oil in it last fall, changed it. Has probably like 20 minutes on it. You ready? Yep. These batteries have not been touched all winter since the harvest. Oh man, well that was easy. That's what a good set of batteries and a Welker engine will do for you. Now you guys are probably wondering, why do we swing the augers out in the building like that? Because we can't get the combines close together. So if we swing them further out, we get the combines close together and then we have more room to park stuff in here. So that's why. You ready to go back? He doesn't mess around, does he? Yeah. Finger width there. All right, combine is out. B-Spine is awake. Very nice. Well done. Okay, header's latched. I guess we need to get the front end loader started too. All right, next piece of the puzzle. The 844. Hasn't woke up in a while. Let's see how well it starts. No problem. Good old 8.3 Cummins. I checked the oil on this engine too before I started it. It was above full, which is a good and bad thing. Has oil, bad in that technically a little bit of hydraulic fluid leaks into the oil pan through the rear main seal, through the torque converter, which has a seal that's bad in it that sometimes under heavy load leaks a little oil through the rear main seal of the engine. Does that make sense? Not a big deal. Hydraulic oil in an engine isn't going to kill your engine. And it doesn't do a lot at a time. We just drain a little oil along and then eventually drop all the oil and put new engine oil in it. So it's a cheap machine though. Didn't pay a lot for it. That's the difference. These machines for this size are well over 100 grand, and this one, not used. This one is in good shape for what it is. And we didn't spend that much, like 10,000. All right, we'll leave this right here. So, definitely can tell, bent back like this. You look down, right there straight, here's the line of this, straight, it's probably hard to tell with the camera. And then we do want to try to go up a little bit. The cutter bar is the same way too, it's curled back, but that'll straighten out pretty well too when we push on it. Got the skid steer parked on this end. It's just sitting there. And then we'll grab the loader. Let's go to the other side. And we're gonna push on the other side. And it's gonna try to take this whole combine, and we've actually skidded the rear tires over the combine before doing this. But that'll put some resistance on that header. It's kind of crude in some ways. If you have a great way to bolt the header down to the ground, some guys have actually built jigs on the floor, and they bolt their header down or chain it down, boom it down tight, and then they can do this, but we don't have that luxury. And this worked last time. So why wouldn't it work this time?
You curl it over like this. We use a chain wrapped around the bucket, and it wraps around this part right here. And then you pull it. Because if you push on it anywhere here, you're going to either push on that part.
Well, I was gonna straddle it.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to push. Right there.
That's pretty heavy. I don't think you're gonna dent it.
If we wrapped a chain around it, it would give more strength to pull around the tube, not at a sharp angle.
I mean, we could do that. Where are we gonna hook the chain on that?
So you can, okay, this part right here, wrap a chain around the bottom. The bucket curls like this.
Yeah.
And then you start to drive forward a little bit.
That's fine.
Do you think that would be, because if you put the sharp edge.
No, that's fine.
I'm thinking it's gonna crease.
We could do that. So I guess the skid steer was sliding back over this end, so we brought the 7140 in and chained it to the header on that side. So that side is anchored solid. So now, we're back to this again. And I remember we had to push the other one pretty far forward before it kept its bend. So you go past the part where you want it to, whatever they call it. Go past where you want it, and then when you come back, it should stop where it needs to be. But we gotta keep trying it over and over again.
It's got a lot of spring to it, so we're gonna have to keep figuring out how far to go. So let's take a look.
So we're making progress. It has improved, but there is in here, they've got some pipes that are structural, and we're working against it. And I'm pretty sure we haven't done this, but you cut them and then bend it and then take out whatever chunk that you don't want in there anymore and weld it back together again. And then your header should be straight and true. So I think we need to take this canvas off. Draper, get in there, find that piece, take it apart or cut it, bend it, and re-weld it. Got the draper off, and here's the pipe right here. It was technically underneath it, but we like to get the canvas off there anyways because we don't want to mess with that. So that's the pipe right there. I got stretched. Cut that, and then as we're pushing on this end, it's shoving that, which is trying to shove this whole thing over, and it's preventing this from bending. So when that's cut, we can bend, re-weld, not a problem. It's also a good thing to get this all off because we want to go through and check all the bearings. Like this is an unknown header. You know, I don't know how much my classmate rebuilt this thing over the years, or his dad. I think it was his dad's header actually. So we're probably gonna replace all the bearings. There's a shaft on a drive motor there on that center canvas that is known to go out and ruin the whole header with hydraulics. We gotta check that too. But we'll get it up to snuff here soon. So we're gonna cut out about a 3-inch piece here, and then we'll sleeve it with a pipe when we're ready. There's tension on it right now. It's trying to push against itself, so to get that piece knocked out,
Fuse itself.
Is there a pipe and a pipe?
No, it's hollow. You got a hammer?
Okay.
All right.
Well, that's...
It's better.
Good more?
Yeah, it's better than it was. Can you lock it? Like, put it in park. Definitely tweaked it back.
As you can look down here, I mean, there's going to be just a slight little bit of a bow. It's really hard to take that out. But if you look down the backbone here, I'd say this end is maybe an inch or so, but man, we really twisted on it now.
So we have like a tape measure, and then I can figure
Yep.
out how to put it down in there.
So we got the pipe to sleeve it. Next step is I'm gonna get in the skid steer, case steer. I'm gonna push it forward, get that tight while it's sleeved. He'll get the weld over here. He'll weld it all up. Now, because this is one of those Australian headers, as we call them, this part here was a joint as well, and these are known to bend down right here, which it is. So we'll back this up. We're gonna unhook all that. Put a block of wood there, maybe a block of wood there, and then we're gonna take a loader or something and push down right here until this is straight. And then we're gonna go for a season. Right on.
So Nick's gonna start the skid steer, put a little bit of pressure on it, and then when he starts popping a wheelie, I think we're good. A little bit more. Okay, there we go.
Hey, it's climbing. Look at my
There we-
skid steer.
Okay, that's good.
I'm gonna fall off. Hang on.
All right, he's climbing. Okay, that's good. Let's leave it.
Right there.
I think that'll be good. So now what we got to do is we got to pull these tubes, line them up, slide the sleeve over it. And I'm going to tack weld it all up, and then we'll let it go of the skid steer and see where it sits. And if it looks good, I guess we'll run it.
Did he ground on a little bit? There, perfect.
You should be able to take the skid steer off of it. All right, now that's kind of tack welded. You pulled it away. Let's look down and see what it looks like. It's good enough. It's a whole lot better than it was. Like a whole lot better. So I think I'm pretty pleased with that. Okay, I'll finish welding around the pipe. And then I can give my welder to my dad because he's using it. We should be good to go. Fun.
So what Legarm's noticed is this whole unit here, there's slop in these bolts, and this unit rotated a little bit, just barely.
So there's a groove right here. There's a little tiny groove right there that looks like they need to line up.
So
But if we can rotate a little bit, it'll lift the corner up a little bit, I hope.
yeah, because that corner is tipped down. So rather than trying to bend stuff, if we get this rotated, it might lift that up, and then we'll weld this up solid so that way it can't spin again. So I guess it did spin it, and now it's past where the notch was, but we're okay with that because it's probably bent a little bit. It wouldn't hurt to keep it past. So he's tightening it up, and then we're gonna look at it. I'll take the tension off the loader, and we'll see what it looks like. And if it looks good, then we'll weld that nice and tight like. Because so we'll never have to adjust it again, right? Well, I guess we're gonna park it for now. We're done for the day. Time to call it. So we gotta get the reel parts still. We don't have them on the farm yet. We'll go get that and then take this header and start the process. That's why I left it at the combine hooked up to it, so we can use the hydraulics to lift the reel up and we get this all built up to then put it in the shop so we can work on it. But I think we might have actually bent it just a hair more forward than how it was originally, which I'm not worried about because you know what that means? When we hit something and it starts to bend back the other way, it'll be right. So that was the plan all along. Worked out great.